I mean, we're going to go.
Pro wrestling is beautiful.
This is the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
It's your boy Miguel Z with the Value of Wrestling New Japan Rebound Podcast. I've got a guest for you folks at StocktonCon.
What up, everybody? AJ Kirsch here, the voice and the host of StocktonCon. The value of wrestling is awesome, so subscribe on YouTube. Scan the QR code right here, now. Subscribe and check it out.
There we go.
You'll be glad you did.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, that's what. Hey, man, shout out to Value of Wrestling. I'm right here with the Big Oos, San Jose. We done shut the shit down. Love and respect, though, man. Value of Wrestling. Hello.
Man, thank you, brother. Thank
Oh, boy. You didn't know. Well, pick up the phone. Well, I guess you don't got to. Oh, you got to pick up that phone. You got to get on the Twittery world and tweet it out. You got to share this. You got to post it on your Facebook. You got to get it out there because we are live to Value Wrestling with your WrestleMania 40 Night 2, your Sunday Night WrestleMania, the Sunday Night WrestleMania. Woo! Can I hear you? Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, once in a lifetime, things happen. Things come together. Magic happens. Once in a lifetime, you get to experience some of the greatest magic in professional wrestling, and sometimes it just clicks. Whether it was Hulk Hogan slamming Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3, or Bret the Hitman Hart taking it on his younger brother Owen Hart at WrestleMania 10, or Shawn Michaels wrestling a ladder. Whether it was WrestleMania 12, where Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart had the longest match in WrestleMania history, going out there for 1 hour, 1 minute, and 56 seconds in the most beautiful Iron Man match that you're going to see any other place. Whether it was the Hulk Hogan, the Hollywood, the NWO version of Hulk Hogan showing up to go one-on-one with the great one, The Rock, at WrestleMania 18. Whether it was WrestleMania 30 where the Yes Movement took over, WrestleMania 25 where we saw the great battle between Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. Woo! And so many more in there. Whether it was, we go back to WrestleMania 3 and talk about the Macho Man and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and the beautiful battle for the Intercontinental title. Or whether it was WrestleMania, I think, 35 where you had the women main event this show. Ladies and gentlemen, it's once in a lifetime that you get to sit down and watch a show that just totally lives up to the hype, stays good, and then you have a beautiful moment that sums it all up, sends you home happy, and makes you feel freaking warm and fuzzy. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, last night WrestleMania was, and after tonight, you even got to go, WrestleMania was on was on par last night. WrestleMania Night 1 was on par, but WrestleMania Night 2 blew that out of the water. I don't know what they said or how they changed up the game, or if Triple H went out there and said, look, last night wasn't where it should have been, so you guys need to go out here and make it right, because they freaking made it right tonight. Pretty much every match on this card blew everything out on night 1, other than maybe I still got to give flowers to Sami Zayn and Gunther, because they had a beautiful match with a beautiful story. But tonight, gee willikers, from top to bottom, we had so much going on. I think you stayed invested. There wasn't a time that you could really get up and break away from the show. You weren't playing on your phone too much because you were just enticed by everything that was going on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Value Wrestling. This is your WrestleMania post-show review for WrestleMania 40, April 7th. It's Sunday night. Yeah. And we're going to get into it. Let me introduce you first to the mastermind behind most of what this is. The one, the only. You know it. You know the one, the only.
Miguel Z.
Oh yeah, you know me. Tell you too much about me. I'm the big guy. We're gonna lock it up and bring it down. We're gonna break it down. Oh, big time. We are, and no pun intended in any of that. Gentlemen, WrestleMania 40 Night 2, Mr. Clarke, give me your opening statement.
Well, shoot, we got to open up with my original crush, Stephanie McMahon, welcoming us to WrestleMania and the new Paul Levesque era.
Yes. And that was unscheduled from everything out of the reports that were coming. She was not the one that was on the sheet to come out. Triple H was. So we'll get in that in just a second, too. Mr. Z, your opening statements on WrestleMania 40 Night 2, Sunday night.
I stayed on the island of relevancy all by my lonesome tonight. My son turned on me, but you know what? We knew what was going down tonight. That story needed to be finished. And folks, when we get into that, man, what a night. Good God, what a night.
Oh, what a night, ladies and gentlemen. They started this off hot. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Stephanie McMahon Helmsley to come down to the ring, or Stephanie McMahon Levesque at this point. She's not even Helmsley anymore. That storyline's long gone. But Stephanie McMahon came down to open this show tonight, and all reports coming out from Sean Ross Sapp and several others that it was Triple H that was scheduled to come out and open the show. But no, we got Stephanie, and it was great to see her here in this moment. Standing tall, standing proud, showing what she is. And anybody who's like, oh, she's a part of things, I don't give a damn. We're in a new era. They told you they're in a new era, and everything about the last 2 nights of this week has been a giant F you to Vince McMahon. And if you're not figuring out their pulling away and changing the soul narrative, then get over it. If you're going to be hung up on a lawsuit, that's pretty much about Vince. Yes, unfortunately, he used WWE and dragged a lot of good people and dragged WWE's name through the blood, and they're all part of the lawsuit, and wham, wham, boo-hoo. But you know what? It's a new era, it's a new day, it's a new night, and we are heading into something that's going to be incredibly great. And if you can't get on the wagon train because you want to worry about some lawsuit at this point that, you know, it's a lawsuit. Man, I get it. It's tragic. But we're also here going, you know what? It happened. Vince is gone. That's what we can ask for. Most of the people who are going to be associated with this have been pretty much put into different positions. And now we are moving forward in a new era. I mean, if you didn't watch the Hall of Fame and listen to what Paul Heyman says, the man who has the pencil is now the man that is changing the game, and gave Paul Levesque his flowers. Hell, CM Punk gave Paul Levesque his flowers on all of it too. So, I mean, we're in a whole new game. So Stephanie McMahon coming out to give us the kickoff of WrestleMania 40. What a hot night. And we got right into it as CM Punk's music hit. He came down the ring. He was on commentary. Now, all day long, I found this interesting. This may lead into something, so let me bring it up. All day long, Punk was on the pre-show. He was out there both nights he was out there on the pre-show, and he never had his arm sling on. I thought that was really weird. He didn't have his arm sleeve or arm brace or whatever you want to call it on. So when he came out tonight, he had the arm brace on. So I was like, that's interesting. I wonder if he's going to get involved in some form or fashion. For the reason why he's wearing the brace, because most of the time he hasn't been wearing the brace. So it made for a very interesting situation. Then we got they started playing Roddy Piper's music, so I had a little flashback there. That was like, oh, Piper.
I think we all did.
Yeah.
I mean, they had the bagpipes. It was beautiful. And we got that beautiful moment for a second. And then they hit the music, and out came Drew McIntyre. He walked down through the guards of the swords and a huge, I mean, they did more special entries tonight on this night than they did on the first night. So it was nice. They started us off with an amazing entrance for Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre came down the ring, was ready. You were ready to go. You were like, yep, this is gonna be a damn good match. Then Seth Rollins came out with a bunch of people dressed up kind of in a Mardi Gras. All I caught was this is a celebration of something they do in Philadelphia every year on New Year's Eve, that this is some type of dress. He came out, Adam Rose parade type of thing was thrown out there. I don't know if there was like 50 people that walked down with Seth Rollins. Rollins decked out, probably one of the better outfits I've ever seen him in. I liked the outfit tonight. I thought he was one of the better ones I've seen him wear. All the people passed by the announce table and gave high fives. Pat McAfee's over there like, oh, come on, Punk, give him a high five. He's like, my arm's injured, Pat. I can't give high fives. So that was a great little notion there. And so we got Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre in a solid, damn good match. Immediately, McIntyre hits a Claymore. Basically, the bell rings. He hits a Claymore. Rollins kicks out. Rollins and McIntyre fight back and forth. We get a future shock DDT. We get pedigrees. We got 4 or 5 Claymores. Eventually, McIntyre covers Rollins, but he kicks out miraculously after another Claymore. McIntyre hits one more Claymore, and that is it. This match went 10 minutes, 40 seconds. Yes, this is a 4-star match all day. Drew McIntyre defeated Seth Rollins. This match was good on the basis of it. After the match, Rollins rolled out of the ring. You could see he was emotionally upset. He's going to be coming back for McIntyre in that title. You could see the emotion exuding from Seth Rollins after this match. McIntyre stayed in the ring and celebrating, but if this was a good, solid match, this is a great opener to get you hyped. These guys brought it. They told a great story that Seth Rollins just wasn't going to go down. Drew McIntyre getting frustrated, just hitting Claymore after Claymore after Claymore. It was a beautiful, beautiful match. And before we get into the next part, gentlemen, let's just focus on the match. I know we're going to talk about that, but let's stay focused on this part before we get into the next chapter. Mr. Clarke, what did you think of the match, not the aftermatch?
We've been calling this for the last good while, but just because it's predictable does not mean it was not enjoyable, because it was absolutely enjoyable. And for the allotted time, it's like 10 minutes and 40 seconds. Sometimes that feels like a long time. Sometimes that feels pretty short. In this case, it felt pretty short because they were going after each other so hardcore.
Yes.
Like, there was not a moment to breathe almost. It was like, man, who's going to get the pin? Because, I mean, you also had multiple stomps. You had multiple, like you said, there was the pedigrees, there was the Claymore. I mean, just everything it was a dog-eat-dog world. Let's put it that way.
It was a quick fire. They were hitting finisher after finisher just to see who was going to go down. Mr. Z,
yeah.
You done? No,
go ahead and finish. Go ahead and finish.
Basically, I was just saying, it was exciting as heck.
Mm-hmm.
It was good.
Mr. Z, your thoughts on the match? Let's stay with the match.
They had me right in the first 5 minutes of it. Claymore to damn near end it right out of the gate. That's what started it for me.
Yes.
You knew it was going to be insane after that.
Oh, it lived up to it.
I was like, are you serious? They're going to end it like that? But they didn't. It kept going. McIntyre hit the future shock DDT, at least pointing to Punk saying, this is what took you out. I was like, that was a low blow, but they kept going with it. There was a point at this time where I didn't care that the referee wasn't doing their job with the 10 count, because usually people poke about that, but who noticed it anyways? Honestly, these guys were going hard and heavy for the allotted time they were given. It was exciting. The fans were into it. I was into it. The house was insane. What more can you ask for? Great match.
Yeah, I can't say I was paying attention to the referee because I was paying attention to the match, so I don't think I was worried about 10 counts. But then suddenly things got really weird. I was like, this match ended really quick, and then they kind of hung around. They kept hanging around. You saw Rollins leave the ring and very emotional, and Drew kept hanging around. And I know I told you guys, are we going to get cash in? And I know I was really I felt like Drew was going to screw this up, or Mommy was going to steal the briefcase. Really wondering, but then when they started pausing right now, I'm like, they're going to have a cash in. And so Drew McIntyre goes outside. He's celebrating with the belt. He's mocking people. And suddenly he just realizes CM Punk's at the announce table, and he goes over and climbs up on the announce table like a cat, like a tiger. I think it was Pat McAfee was, and Michael Cole were making the comments here. He was getting in Punk's face. He was taunting Punk hard. I mean, just hard, taunting Punk. Punk's like, why are you, you won. Congratulations. Go, why are you here? Why are you doing this? Finally, McIntyre pushed Punk enough. He stood up, and Punk swept his feet from under him, and McIntyre fell down on the table. Punk then ripped off his arm brace and blasted McIntyre in the face. Judgment Day, Damian Priest music's hit. Punk looks over at first, you're like, he's looking at down up the aisle, like, uh-oh. And then all of a sudden you see that cheese-eating grin that Punk's so great at, like, yeah, this is going to be good. Punk climbs onto the Spanish announce table and sits crisscross while Damian Priest takes McIntyre, cashes in his money in the briefcase. Priest rolls McIntyre in the ring, hits it south of heaven, gets the 1, 2, 3. This match was 1 second longer than the shortest match in WrestleMania history. It went 7 seconds. Ooh. 7 seconds from the time of the bell. That's Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, and now Damian Priest is your new WWE World Heavyweight champion. What a moment. Like, everybody been crapping on Priest, he's never going to cash it, he's not going to hit it, he's not going to do this. And I was, debatable about how they were going to play it out, because it was like they would make it important and not important. But again, we got right here, and I was like, this is perfect. This is a perfect setup. You're continuing the Punk-Drew storyline in there. Now you have Seth who wants a rematch. Drew's going to get a rematch. Priest is a champion. CM Punk plays a role in this. We have to see, is Finn Balor going to be jealous that Damian Priest has that World Heavyweight Championship? Is that going to play into anything? We got to see how this all plays out. This is great. This is what started off a night hot. Judgment Day celebrated at the top of the ramp while Drew McIntyre started just laying in the ring upset, staring a hole through CM Punk. CM Punk sat there cross-legged on the Spanish announce table, just clapping away. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Mr. Clarke, what did you think of the cash-in?
I, like a lot of people, they just did not make Damian Priest look as strong as you would have thought they would have if they were really going to push through. Now, then again, he's a heel, so does he need to look strong to begin with? I don't know. But it's like just kind of like with Austin Theory when he had the Money in the Bank. You're just like, what are they doing with him? But I definitely could not be mad at the results tonight. I don't know, like, what kind of a champion is he going to be now? How long is one question. And is he going to be respected because of the way he was previously booked up till tonight? So there's a lot of questions that starting tomorrow, Monday Night Raw, we're going to start finding out. We're going to be on the new road, the new tales.
The new era.
That's exciting.
The new era.
Mm-hmm.
Period. The new era. Mr. Z, your thoughts on the cash-in?
We all know I'm a big fan of Damian Priest. He throws it back to Scott Hall, the late Riz Ramon. Mm-hmm. I'm a huge fan of Damian Priest. I loved him in NXT. He deserved it. If he's a transitional champion, it is what it is. But I would say this fits right up the alley of him being a heel. He won by a nefarious mean.
Does R-Truth deserve a WWE World title shot against Damian Priest?
Absolutely.
It would be funny as all stuff.
I think we need to see that match. I think R-Truth deserves that one-on-one match. Maybe you do it at Backlash. I mean, I don't know where Seth Rollins or Drew McIntyre are going to be playing out into this world title picture now that it's on Damian Priest. I don't know how this is all going to figure out. I mean, Raw is going to be freaking interesting. It's going to be a good show tomorrow night.
It'll be the first Raw after Mania that will probably be a throwback to when you had surprises and you had good stuff on the Raw after Mania.
Well, we know it's not going to get ruined at the last second with 10 different changes. So.
Oh man, why'd you have to go there? Don't go there. We're in a new direction now.
No, we need to go there so people can appreciate what they're going to get tomorrow. Because remember all the Raws last year and all the after Mania Raws that were just major disappointments for the last several years because everything changed. Anyways, from there,
all I know is real quick, if everything is what we've seen is true, I'm ready for tomorrow.
Hey, we may have a big debut coming up, too. I don't know. Rumor is that Jacob Fatu is signed with WWE. Sean Ross Sapp is supposedly reporting as he has signed. Will we Will we see him on Monday? Will we see him on Friday? Or will we see him on Tuesdays? I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. Mm-hmm. From there, we got the 6-man tag team Philadelphia Street Fight, the Pride versus the Final Testament. This one started off really weird because first they introduced Snoop Dogg as a special guest commentator. I'm like, are we going to have special guest commentators for every match or what? And then we got Bubba Ray Dudley as the special guest referee, and my heart sank. This was a decent match between these guys. I mean, they came at it, they gave it, but in the end, we get forward hits from the heavens through a table. Lashley makes the cover. Yeah, they set up a table, it crashed, and then they had to redo the table. They had to put Cross on it. Cross at one point got into Bubba Ray's face, which was not a good idea. He put on the glasses, and he helped out the Profits and Bobby Lashley kind of in this, not a major way. They had a 4-man, 5-man, whatever it was. No, it was a 4-man saying, get the tables. Eventually, they tried to put them on one table. That one crashed. So they set up another table, and they put Cross on the table. And good God, one thing about Ford is that man can get some air. The air he got on that splash through the table was huge. Bobby Lashley got the pin. This match went 8 minutes, 33 seconds. 3-star match? Yeah, I can say 3 stars. It wasn't a great match, and it was the wrong people losing. I'm sorry. Final Testament needed this win. They needed to feel like a dominant team. What are they going to do with them going forward? I don't know. Hopefully there's some switch. Hopefully these two teams go in different directions now. Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, I guess, are finishing the story by winning this match, but I don't think it helped them feel any more important tonight. We did get Scarlett involved, and BFAB got involved. BFAB, the first time she's had action since I guess Hit Row was around, so yeah. But I guess she still got more action in a WWE ring than Top Dollar. But that's not saying much. Mr. Clarke, your thoughts on this street fight?
The analytical part of me agrees with you. The wrong team won. But overall, I didn't care. I was having too much fun with Snoop Dogg's commentary, just listening to him talk trash.
Oh, it was
this was a very fun match.
Yes.
Thanks to Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, it was a very fun match. It's just I don't think that the Final Testament needed to win more here than anything.
Like I said, the analytical part of me agrees with you. Like I understand your argument, but in a vacuum, this was a very fun match to watch.
Yes.
Just because Snoop Dogg was talking all his stuff, and it went with the match, and it worked, and it was just great.
Yes, Mr. Z, your thoughts?
It was entertaining, to say the least. It was nice seeing the women mix it up. I don't know how I feel about, Final Testament taking a loss on this one, but it was entertaining. I mean, it was good filler.
From there, we got the grudge match. LA Knight, versus AJ Styles. LA Knight came out looking good, and I don't know how we did this one. I don't know if we were just in that vibe or in that moment. I know we talked about it last night. We're talking about AJ Styles. Can they get this old TNA music since they're working in partnership? But regardless, I think me and Mr. Clarke were firm in the idea that AJ needed new theme music. He got new theme music tonight, and it seems a little better, seems a little more fitting. He throws an opening catchphrase out there. So AJ Styles with new theme music, so I was kind of happy about that, but it's kind of shocked. We were just talking about that. Makes you think who's really watching this. Because somehow we predicted that, but maybe it was just we were in tune with the idea that it was that time. Maybe Triple H and WWE felt, it is that time too. And it's true. It was just that time. Anyways, these two men gave us a great fight. It was impactful. It was hitting. It was back and forth. You didn't know who was going to win this. Eventually, Styles goes for another phenomenal forearm, but Knight hits the ropes. Follows up with a BFT for the 1-2-3. LA Knight, 12 minutes, 27 seconds. This was a 4-star match all day. Yes, I'll agree. It was solid. I mean, these two brought it. It was a great grudge match. LA Knight getting a big win. I just don't agree with Michael Cole trying to say this is the biggest match of LA Knight's career. I feel like they say that every time for LA Knight. This is his biggest match. I'm like, he faced Roman Reigns for the world title. Was that not his biggest match? Is this his biggest match? Like, which is his biggest match?
Yeah,
make up your mind. Anyways, LA Knight with a good win here over AJ Styles. What will AJ Styles do from now? I don't know. Does this set LA Knight on a trajectory to be in a world title picture? I don't know. He still hasn't been presented there. With Cody Rhodes going over to SmackDown now, I'm sure we'll have to see how that plays out. Mr. Clarke, LA Knight, yeah, and AJ Styles.
This was definitely a WrestleMania worthy match that had nothing to do with the title. And those kind of matches seem to be hard to come by these days that make it really feel worth, like it's worth being at WrestleMania. It's a draw on its own, and there's no title on the line yet. At some point, I expect LA Knight to be in title contention. At some point, I expect AJ Styles to have another title match.
Yes.
But because they didn't have anything else to do but beat up on each other, I still enjoyed it for what it was.
Mr. Z.
Grudge match worthy of WrestleMania moment. Very few. This is one of them that makes that list. The fans were into it. It seemed like everybody was talking about what was going to happen, who was going to win this one. As far as we knew, they were fighting up and down Philadelphia at conventions all weekend long. So, I'm not complaining. It was a great match. It was very enjoyable.
Yes. From there, we got... Oh, they didn't know his name. Okay, we got the triple threat for the U.S. Championship. Logan Paul versus Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. Logan Paul came out to the ring first. Kevin Owens came out. ECW colors, old gear. And he got on a golf cart again. He started coming down to the ring. And then Randy, he got like almost to the end of the ramp. And Randy Orton's music hit. And so he hit it in reverse. Went and picked up Randy Orton. And this was great and entertaining. This was a fun match. This was a solid match. I mean, everybody got everything. The reversals in some of this between Kevin and Randy at times was great. And they were beating on it. Logan Paul rolled out of the ring and tried to get them to fight that started off. And they're like, no. And eventually then Owens and Randy are like, okay, we're gonna do this. So Orton's like, Owens is like, we're gonna do this now. Right now we're gonna do it. Okay, let's do it. And they went off. Great solid match. Eventually Randy Orton Randy hits, what's his name? I don't know what, Ice Show something. I don't know who the rapper was under the Prime suit.
The guy is and
the Prime bottle.
Yeah, the Prime. It was I Show something. I Show Slowly or I Show. I don't know. I don't care. Don't know who he is. Don't know why I should. If I do, then I should. But if I don't, then who cares, right?
Kids knew who he was. That's all I know.
Yeah. The brass knucks came into this, but eventually Randy Orton, Owens goes for a pop-up powerbomb into Orton. Orton counters it into an RKO in the air. Paul tosses Orton out of the ring, heads up top, hits another beautiful. I want to see a competition between Logan Paul and Montez Ford doing leapfrogs off that top rope because, I mean, good God. Montez Ford got there. Logan Paul can freaking and Montez Ford, he's tall, I think, but I mean, Logan Paul, you can tell is tall. I mean, he's long-legged and everything. That man springs off of there. I mean, Logan Paul or Montez Ford could probably fly across the ring if they really wanted to. I really believe either one of those guys. I want to see a competition on how far and how high they can get. That would just be a fun thing to see.
I just don't want to see them do what Paul and Ricochet did because to this day, man, that's still the nastiest collision I've ever seen.
But anyways, this match with 17 minutes, 38 seconds. It's a 4-star match. Logan Paul still United States champion. Another 4-star match for sure. This lived up to the hype. What is Logan Paul's next step? I don't know. What are Kevin Owens and Randy Orton going to do? I hope they get to be a tag team. I hope they decide that they can be buddies and have some fun in the tag team ranks, especially since Grayson Waller and Austin Theory are tag team champions, and Kevin Owens and Randy Orton already have some issues with Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. We could see some great matches going through the summer between those four men. That could be highly entertaining over the tag team titles. Tell me when I'm telling lies. Mr. Clarke, U.S. title on the line.
I was a little afraid when Kevin Owens and Randy Orton kind of continued their buddy wrestler routine, because you knew at some point in the match they had to start going at each other also.
Mm-hmm.
And they did do the routine for a little while, but they got to business, so I was happy. They didn't, try to make it look fake or anything.
No, and we didn't get
all three of them put on a performance.
Yes.
Good.
We didn't get a turn. Like, we didn't get Kevin Owens attacking Randy from behind or Randy attacking Kevin from behind. When they finally went at it, they were face to face. It was a mano a mano.
Right.
And I liked that because it keeps them still both baby faces.
Absolutely. And the fact that they, like I said, they all three gave, each other everything they could for, like I said, the allotted time. Man, I mean, this was a fun match to watch too.
Mr. Z.
I'm with Mr. Clarke on this one. I very a very enjoyable match. They definitely gave us everything they could possibly give us. The Brass Knucks played a huge role in this as far as just being a tool on all of them. And Logan Paul getting the backdoor win, ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm okay with that.
No, you expected that, though. You expected in some way he was going to pick up a win like that. It wasn't just going to be he was going to get one of these guys pinned cleanly. He was going to pick it up from somebody else. So we saw that. Anyways, I know the next match is the one Mr. Clarke wants to talk about. He probably was. Well, we won't talk about what he was probably doing after this match ended, but
Jeez.
Hey, I didn't say anything. What are you? Are you like these hardcore AEW fans where Triple H says, "Well, if they don't want to be here and do the grind, then I don't want them." Oh, he's talking about Will Ospreay. So you're thinking I'm trying to say something when I didn't say anything at all? Is that it? Just because I imply something doesn't mean you got to go there. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Value of Wrestling. Welcome to our house. We built this house. We have fun here, and you can have. We did build this house. This is our house. We built this son of a bitch from the ground up.
I know.
And we have fun here. And if you want to, you can join in the chat, join in the conversation, join in the fun. Tell us what you think of WrestleMania.
People in the room. Go ahead. Let's talk, folks. Let's talk business. I'm all for it. Let's say something.
Anyways, we got into the Bayley Iyo Sky match for the WWE Women's Championship. And boy, oh boy, did these two women bring it and blow it out of the water in a way that was just incredible, back and forth. Some of the incredible moves, the beautiful German suplexes from Iyo Sky to Bayley. Iyo Sky gave everything to Bayley. Bayley kept trying to go for the Lowe's plant. Iyo Sky was able to block. Eventually, Bayley catches her with a clothesline. Bayley hits up top, hits the diving elbow drop. Bayley hits the Rhodes plant. 1, 2, 3. This match went 14 minutes, 18 seconds. This was a 4-star match all day, every day, any show, anywhere. Book it. Let me see AEW give women's matches this good. So
I'm still looking.
Anyways, this was great. Bayley and Iyo Sky, I think, could wrestle for the next year against each other. I don't think anybody's going to get bored because I think the chemistry they have is magic. These two are going to be awesome to watch do some more dancing in the ring on a solo course. You can't complain here. Bayley was the expected winner. Bayley felt like she needed the win. This is a huge win. She came out to new music. She was also dressed in blue and yellow, which was slightly reminiscent of her last era of the Bayley, the hugger, the original role model. She is back to being the role model. So that was out there too. And it looks like her and Michael Cole.
Role model for a while now.
Have they?
That's been her nickname even through her heel run.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they promoted it a little more than normal. But it looks like her and Michael Cole might be on the course of making up and being friends again. They're finally going to maybe hug it out. Mr. Clarke.
There you go.
We even got a Bayley to Bayley in the match too. Mr. Clarke, I know you're dying to talk all about this. You're trying to talk up wifey number 3 or 2. I don't know where she falls in the count anymore now. But go ahead.
She's a part of my fantasy harem. We know this. Anyways. That's why we call it fantasy, not literal.
Well, it's okay.
I'm not saying nothing.
It's okay. Mr. C could have wished he could have been laying on the mat with both of them on top. So, I mean, it's all good.
Hey, don't be bringing me into this one. I had nothing to do with this one. Go ahead.
Iyo Sky wrestled a very smart match. And I'm wondering, where has this Iyo Sky been? Why hasn't she been booked like this the whole time? Especially a champion. I was like, we know, if you watched her NXT run, we know she has the skills and the ability. So it's not the talent. Won't go there. Leave that alone for now. My point is, we know what Bayley could do. We've known, if you watch long enough, what Iyo could do. This was a great match.
This is a great women's match.
Punk that. It was a great match, period. Man, woman, doesn't matter. When you say, Tony Khan, take notes, this is how the AEW women should be looking up to. You have someone in your roster now that can teach you, but here was a 5-star classic, in my opinion, on how to do it.
I'm sorry. I don't know if that's going to be money anymore. There's a lot of people that are looking at it going, that money's already ran dry just in the few weeks that she's appeared, that she really hasn't done of anything of its significance. Tell me when I'm telling lies. I mean,
I'm not saying nothing.
The talent is gone. It's just the way that she's booked.
Yes.
So again, it's not the talent's fault.
No. Half of my criticism's never about the talent. It's usually about how something's done or how it's booked.
Yeah.
Anyways, Mr. Z, Iyo Sky, Bayley.
San Jose's favorite girl wins again. Picks up the big win on the big stage.
And you got to
love enjoy.
Well,
did enjoy seeing Kittle.
George Kittle, but go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, they put Kittle front row center, right where he could watch the whole thing. I love how they played into that. I mean, obviously, we know she's been a big ambassador for them to the NFL when they do trips to NFL or at least Frisco for games. But
she was at the Super Bowl, so
yeah, like this game, this whole thing for her was big. Iyo Sky showed up, showed out. I mean, that first counter to that Rose plant was beautiful. The front flip out of it, you couldn't time that any better.
And they've been long-term booking this since she reappeared at SummerSlam, and then I mean, this has been long-term booking at its finest, at its greatest. They moved Iyo Sky from being a returning superstar to a women's champion to passing, to having this beautiful, amazing match at WrestleMania. That honestly, this match could have main evented either night of this WrestleMania card. Period.
Oh,
now,
yeah, definitely.
Granted, the main event tonight blew this one out of the water in its own right, but I mean, if you didn't have that match, this could have been a main event at almost any WrestleMania,
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, this was a great match. Can't wait to see it.
You said it best. You said it best, and we've been getting attacked by these people. So if they're watching, tell your boy Tony, take some notes, because this is how women wrestle.
No, you got to realize Tony's got his panties in a bunch. He's sending his tampon bucks out to do his dirty work because he doesn't have the balls to step out on the big stage and take on issues himself.
Where'd they go?
So
Where'd they go?
he's gonna send the tampon bucks out to do his dirty works for something that's not gonna do anything for anybody. And if you're out here and you're saying that this is going to expose Punk, so all the Punk fans will acknowledge who he really is and see him, it doesn't matter what the footage shows. We know what the footage is going to show. Is he going to be choking out Jack Perry? Probably. Is it going to look good for Punk? Not really. It's not going to look like Punk's finest moment, but we all know what was on there. Punk told you what was on there.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to see it. Whoopee. What you know what you're not going to see? A boss be a boss. So he can show it, and we can all look, okay, yep, Punk choked out. It looks stupid. Yep, no, okay. But where was the boss?
Curl up into a ball, fearing for his life.
Anyways.
And on top of that, does it make Phil look bad, or does it make Jack look stupid?
I don't even care about the talent. I don't. It's not even about the talent at this point. It's about the boss. It's not even about the EVPs that are going to go out and present this stuff. It's about the boss who doesn't have the colonies to do this the right way. If he really wanted to tell AEW's side of the story, he could call up Chris Van Fleet. Hell, go to Hawani. Can I come out in your show and show this footage?
He don't like Hawani no more. Hawani's already talked about that.
I don't care if he likes Joe Blow or Julio. He can go on. If Tony Khan had balls, he'd go on early Hawani and go, let's talk about this. And he would talk about the subject matter and then show the video footage on an interview like a boss would, not a pansy who sends out his talent to waste airtime on a show that he barely can get 700,000, maybe 800,000 people watching. So the only reason he's doing this is to get a pop on TV ratings, telling me the only thing AEW can do is use CM Punk to get ratings. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Hey, at least you're not getting
truth.
At least you're not getting blocked by crazy fans when you're speaking the truth. Like myself. I can't get blocked by the Bucks, but I get blocked by fans.
The tampon Bucks. I'm sorry. My point is, why are they wasting TV time on this? They're taking away from a product It doesn't have anything to do with your TV show. Eddie Kingston said it best. I don't care what he says. He's not on my show. He's not in my company. Why do I care? Let's listen to Eddie Kingston, right? I mean, honestly. And then people are gonna go, so Punk can come out and talk his stuff that AEW can't back it up or show that AEW can, but doing it on national TV with the Young Bucks, Tony Khan's letting the Young Bucks, already knowing the heat the Young Bucks created with CM Punk, like they're not innocent in the All Out brawl. Just because we're gonna show footage from All, you know what, Tony, if you have real balls, let's talk about All Out. Let's get to the serious issue. All In was just a slap fight. Let's talk about the real meat of the business, the thing that set that all in motion, because you wouldn't boss up and start holding people accountable.
He has no cojones.
No, well, I mean, you're not. Why are you going to use your national television show to show this footage? You pop a rating. Anyways, enough of it.
Let's talk about real business, man. Let's go.
I know. If we wanted to do a weekly roundup, we would do a weekly roundup, but you got me going on that. The people on the internet tonight have been just.
Oh, they're not helping.
Yeah. The Twitterverse.
Mm-hmm.
That freaking Twitter machine.
You mean the specials of the specials? The special people of special people? I mean, the top of the top notch special looking clear windows and wearing red helmets?
Special you do. I can see it in your eyes.
Special. Woosah. I got a woosah. I got to.
Okay.
Get back to center. Anyways, WrestleMania was an amazing night.
We still got a main event to get to.
I know. I guess it was announced at some time. I must have missed it, but we're getting Backlash May 3rd, and then we're getting a pay-per-view special over in Saudi Arabia on May 25th, I believe it is. The men's and women's, the Women of the Ring and the King of the Ring tournament. So we're gonna get a Queen and King of the Ring tournaments in Saudi Arabia. So we got that on May 25th, and then on May 3rd, or the beginning of May, is Backlash over in France. So that's going to be fun stuff to get into and talk about. But that was all announced tonight. We did not ever get a WrestleMania for next year announcement yet. Rumors and speculation, Minneapolis and Las Vegas seem to be the top-notch ones. They were on the more the East Coast, so I'm thinking they're probably going to come a little more to the West Coast, but Minnesota's more central, so they may go to Minnesota. I need them to come to Vegas so badly.
Please, Vegas. Please, Vegas. Please.
And then, I mean, but if they come to Vegas, then we got to start really working our asses off, because we got to make money, because we got to be able to all three go live and in person. And we can't just go on the cheap route. I mean, we're not going to go sit up in the nosebleed seats of, well, at least that one's got a dome over it, so it won't be so bad. But I mean, we're going to have to make some stuff up, because we're going to have to make some funds to get there.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, the main event.
But if they come to Vegas, then the AEW fans, the tribe of AEW, will say, "You're coming onto our turf." They do so many shows in Vegas.
Good.
I thought it was.
I was there in my
turf.
Sharks jersey. It doesn't matter.
Well, I'm sorry. Then we're going to be at another disagreement, because being an Army vet, I proudly support the Las Vegas Golden Knights.
I know that's fine. I don't.
That's something different.
I can respect.
Hey,
that.
the only thing I think me and you and Michael Cole could agree on tonight: the Phillies suck. Period.
That was great.
Yeah, Michael Cole. Gotta love Michael Cole. Oh, we're right across the stadium where the Phillies play. Yeah. I'm like, yes. I mean, we Mr. Z is a Giants fan, which is, I let him go, but I mean, we got to talk about the real team. So, anywho, what a night. It was a fun night. It was a great show. We had a lot of great stuff going on, a lot of great comments throughout the show, a lot of entertaining stuff just throughout the show. But yes, the main event that just stole the show and lived up to all the hype.
Oh man.
Bloodline Rules match for the undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. Cody came out to a spectacular entrance. The only thing I wish maybe they could have done, maybe they'll do this someday. Maybe now that he's champion, maybe he'll get this at SummerSlam or somewhere. Maybe he can come up on a throne. But he came up in an incredible jacket with a skull of a dragon head of some kind. It looked badass. And even before that, the presentation that they presented with all his flags, like the story they were telling just in his music presentation that his kingdom had fallen. They had the burning scorched fields and the flags were pattered and burning and there was fires and flame. This whole symbolic gesture that Cody's kingdom had fallen and he was rising up from the ashes as he came from underneath, was just symbolically, you're just like, this man's winning. But just in that moment, if you didn't know, you knew right then that this man's winning, because the symbolism in his whole kingdom burning behind him, his banners, he'd gone to war and lost, and then he rises up from the underneath. He comes out in this beautiful. His everything looked great, and then we got the moment that really solidified it. Brandy Rhodes walks up, gives him a kiss, takes the mask off. You're like, yeah, we got to see Brandy. This was awesome. Cody walks down to the ring. His song goes on. He celebrates, has his moment, and you're just like, this is going to be awesome. And then Roman came out. The Philadelphia School Unified School District or Unified Schools Choir. This is their all choir for Philadelphia schools.
Great.
I forget the full title, but you had everything. You had a true choir with, or not just a choir, orchestra. It was the orchestra and choir. You had everything. You even had a real drummer out there on a real drum set, just going at it, playing down Roman Reigns to the ring. Roman came out by himself with Paul Heyman, the newest Hall of Famer, and it was great. And wow, this match was incredible and was one of the best stories we had. This was up there in storytelling with Gunther and Sami Zayn. Rhodes got up top first, then Roman started taking him down. Roman would get him down and almost get the pin, but not get the pin. Cody got a finger 4 on him at one time. Roman Reigns had to use the fingers to gouge him out. And then we eventually get to a point where Cody is on top. He's going to hit not one, he hits 2 of the crossroads. He's about to hit that third one. And the biggest thing with Cody and Roman is always he's never been able to hit that third one. And even Mr. Clarke at one point is like, is he ever going to hit one? And it hit me right then. That's the story they're telling you. They're going to keep telling you he's not going to be able to hit that one until he hits it. Once he hits it, it's over. Anyway, so he hits 2 crossroads. He's about to go for his third one, and out of nowhere, Jimmy Uso comes in, super kicks Cody. They try to take down Cody together. Reigns and Jimmy try to take him down. They put him down. I think he hits him with a Superman punch. 1, 2, he kicks out. And then Jay's music hits. The Yeets go nut. Jimmy and Jay get into a brawl. They brawl all the way up to the stage before Jay spears Jimmy off the stage through a table. And we don't see them for the rest of the match. We get back fighting. Cody comes back up on top. He gets the bionic elbow. We get Miss Superman punch. We get back and forth. A beautiful set of different moves. And guess what? Cody gets Roman back in for the crossroads. He hits 1. He hits 2. And here's Solo Sikoa with a Samoan spike. And Solo starts yelling at Roman, which was very interesting. Let's get it down. Let it get in. Roman's like, I know. Great little motions here of frustration. I don't know if this is something you're building, that Solo was out there yelling at Roman for the first time. Eventually, Roman got up. Solo grabbed Cody, and we got a spear and a Samoan spike together, what destroyed Cody last time. And we get 1, 2, and he kicks out because Solo was about to leave, and then he kicks out of that combination. Rhodes is laying there, and once again, he kicks out. Solo, it looks like he's about to turn around, and then the music hits. And this is another one I called, are we getting John Cena and da-da-da-da? Here came John Cena flying down to the ring. He got into the ring, dumps Sikoa out of the ring, hits an AA on Roman Reigns, heads outside, drops Sikoa with an attitude adjustment through the announce table. And now The Rock's music instantly hits, and John Cena's face was like, uh-oh, I fucked up. And The Rock comes down. Cena and The Rock have a remembrance from WrestleMania 26. They do the face-off. They look at the crowd. They look at each other. The Rock and him square off. John Cena's like, okay, he goes to hit The Rock. He gets hit with the rock bottom, and The Rock looks like he's about to take care of the next step. And then the Shield music hits, and you're like, what? Unexpectedly, the Shield music hits. Here comes Cody's Shield. I know a lot of people are thinking Jon Moxley was going to show up, but no, he's with AEW, so get over yourself. And no, we didn't get any MJF tonight because he's with AEW, so get over yourself. And The Rock's in there alone. He's looking around, calling for Seth to come down. We don't know where Seth is. They're not showing any cameras of Seth. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Roman jumps into the screen, and as the camera turns, we see Seth with a steel chair. Roman hits him with a Superman punch. Seth with the shield. He comes in, but Roman catches him with the Superman punch. It was beautiful. Then Roman and Rock are standing there. Roman looks at the chair and nails Seth like Seth nailed Roman way back in the day when they broke up the Shield. Beautiful throwback there. Roman's down. The Rock is standing there. He's grabbed the belt. He's going to go whip Cody. And this is where I know everybody wanted Austin for whatever reason. And Austin must have not worked out, and that's fine. That's cool. That's all right. No big deal there. But we didn't get Austin. We got a dong. And the lights went out. And suddenly behind The Rock appeared The Undertaker. The Rock's face was priceless when he heard that gong, when he turned and stared to look at The Undertaker. And I know a lot of people, Undertaker doesn't have anything involved with this. Yeah, Undertaker has a lot of history. Let's go back to the very first Survivor Series not the very first Survivor Series, but Undertaker's very first Survivor Series. When he debuted at Survivor Series, he teamed up with the $1 Million Man. Do you know who the $1 Million Man's team was facing? Dusty Rhodes. So we know that they have history. We know Mark Calloway has history with Dusty Rhodes anyways, and has mad respect for them. He's also a Texan, so Texas and Texas. And if you thought tonight was boring, get your bags, pack it, and, hit the road, Jack. Because I don't know what you're talking about. And if you don't, if it was boring, go ahead and drop it in the chat below. Tell me why tonight's show was boring. 16 votes in the poll tonight. That is awesome. The most votes. I promise you, ladies and gentlemen,
there's 11 people watching. Someone sticks up and let's talk. Come on,
yeah,
we all here.
Get in the chat. We're here to
folks.
talk about it. 16 votes in the poll tonight. That's the highest we've had. That is awesome. So the Undertaker, he then choke slams The Rock. The lights go back out. The Undertaker's gone. The Rock's gone. It's only Cody and Roman, with Seth still kind of withering there. And Cody gets up and hits 1, 2, 3 crossroads, and it's finished. 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes has completed the story. He's finished the story, the greatest moment in WrestleMania history in a long freaking time. Really?
I'm fired.
Really?
I'm fired.
Boot slap you. Put you on mute. That's what we'll do. We'll just.
I told you I was on the island by myself.
I see your lips moving, but all I hear is gibberish. I see your lips moving. All it's coming out is gibberish. Yeah, don't make me go in on you. Oh yeah, you want to give? Yeah, acknowledge me. Yes, thank you. Be the one. Anywho. After that, we had everybody come out. Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, LA Knight, Jey Uso, John Cena was in the ring to celebrate. It took a little bit before they got Seth Rollins in the ring. Eventually, Seth Punk showed up, and everybody celebrated. And then Cody grabbed the mic, and for the first time in WrestleMania history, he called out the people running the show. He called out Bruce Pritchard and Triple H, saying they were the ones that got him here. And Bruce Pritchard and Triple H came down to the ring. Something you're never going to see in any other era but this. A big celebration. The Rhodes family got in the ring. Cody Rhodes got to give the belt to his mom on Peacock, on the paper, the PLE, in this big glory from my moment. He finished the story. He lived the history. It was here. He went out and shook hands with Michael Cole, Corey Graves, Pat McAfee. Cody shook hands with the crowd. 5-star match. Ooh.
4.5. 4.5.
5.
I don't know. It was a 4-star wrestling match if we're just going to go on the pure wrestling match. If you add in all the spectacle, the entertainment, and everything, then I can go 5 stars. That's where I can say 5 stars because there was so much that was exciting. The interference, if you take the whole spectacle and say it's a 5-star sports entertainment match. If you want to go basically on wrestling, then it's a 4-star wrestling match. That's all I can say about this. Nick Khan was even in the crowd and shown on camera congratulating Cody. It was crazy. We've never seen this in professional wrestling. What an exciting night. Cody Rhodes finishes the story. I hope tomorrow night he shows up to have a brand new belt. Please bring back the Big Wing Eagle belt. We need the Big Wing Eagle belt. Please. I hope this is what we're heading to. Oh, there we go. 40 was awesome. Thank you very much, Esteban. Good to see you. Hey, buddy. How you doing? B40, are you really trying to justify the Undertaker spot made 0 cents? Zero. The Undertaker spot made plenty of sense. I mean, he was a formidable foe of the Rock. They've had matches before, for 1. 2, the Undertaker's a legend in WWE. 3, the Undertaker, if you want to go down the Texas road. 4, the Undertaker was there when he made his debut across the ring from Dusty Rhodes. So yes, you can make sense out of it. Was it the person they probably wanted? No. Was it supposed to be Austin? Yes. But yes, I can make sense that makes sense. And if you don't make sense out of it, I'm sorry, but that's I mean, there's reasons to connect it. The Undertaker was the right person. What? Go ahead. It's your floor.
It's about. It was about celebrating 40 years of WrestleMania. Undertaker is definitely a part of that. Everybody that was in that ring has something to do with WrestleMania, whether it's present or past. And for the AEW super enthusiast, you know who else was in that ring? -1. Known to the rest of us as Brody Lee Jr.
What's next? They're going to have wrestlers come out like the end of a Broadway show playing the part of Roman Reigns, Joe Anoa'i. He had nothing to do with the story. Well, I mean, yes, he did. Who did Roman beat before he really went on this big run? I mean, Roman kind of put The Undertaker down, other than AJ Styles in that theatrical match. But if we go back, Roman's kind of the guy that took the big yard from The Undertaker. So, I mean, is it a bit of a stretch? Yeah, I'll give it a little bit of a stretch in this moment. But you know what? If it could have been Austin, it needed to be Undertaker. It was WrestleMania 40. Taker needed to be on that show. And, yeah. I'll debate you all day on it. And you're welcome to make your chats. I'm not, you have your point of view and you're fine to think that way. We're not trying to attack you, so please don't feel that way. But I do feel that it is justified. You may see it a different way, and that's perfectly okay. But yeah, no, I think the Undertaker being there wasn't the first category. Yes, it should have probably been Austin. Is there a reason Austin wasn't there? Maybe. We don't know. They went with the Undertaker. Undertaker deserved a spot on WrestleMania 40. His legacy, his history within WrestleMania. There's stuff to do. He had reasons to be mad at Roman. He has reasons to be mad at The Rock. I mean, again, we could even go into backstage stuff where the Undertaker was the head of the locker room during the Attitude Era and The Rock coming in as the final big bad boss. The Undertaker kind of used to be the final boss in WWE in a lot of ways. So, I mean, there's a lot of justifications there that may not necessarily be in storyline, but you can look at it and go, yeah, there's some things that you can make connection pieces. Do you have to stretch a little bit? Yeah, sometimes. But I don't know what a Broadway show. You're stretching with that one. Mr. Clarke, your thoughts on this main event?
I mean, it's everything that we wanted out of it. It was entertaining. It was tough, especially after watching last night's WrestleMania and that tag match. You knew both Seth and Cody were going to be beaten up, and you weren't completely sure. There was rumors that, if you're going to look at it from a behind-the-scenes perspective, that they might have Cody lose just to
there was a lot of talk about it. Yes.
So it's like you didn't know even though now that we're at that point, we felt like, oh, it's so predictable. We knew Cody was going to finish. We did not know for sure. We believed, we wanted it, and thank goodness it happened. But man, a year from now, I can't wait to go to rewatch this match and see how I feel about it then, and see if it gives me the same elation as it does tonight.
That was a solid show. I mean, The Undertaker was probably the biggest pop and the biggest surprise, and that could have been it too. I mean, you could have brought The Undertaker in just for a big pop because nobody was expecting The Undertaker to be there in that fashion. Mr. Z, your thoughts?
Hell of a match. Told the great story. We've seen Cody. We didn't know what kind of shape he was in after last night. They went through war. They went through hell last night because we've seen what happened to Seth. I was like, okay, is this prelude to what might happen to Cody himself as well? Nope. Cody came out guns blazing as he should have. The spots with your legends that came down, with Bloodline coming down, all well and good, tied in just right. And finally, Cody hit 3 crossroads. He finally hit the third one. He got the big win. Like we said, by the way, AEW fans, that was -1. Brody Lee Jr. in the ring, hugging Cody, your champion. Great night. Great night.
B40. You're saying that backstage stuff should have nothing to do with storylines. Okay, let me ask you this. How do you feel about AEW then and what they're going to do Wednesday?
Oh!
Now, backstage stuff shouldn't have anything to do with storylines, and I can agree with you, but it's not that I'm trying to say that was the main reason. I'm just saying if you want to find a reason that The Undertaker was there's enough there that you can find. I'm just saying that's another reason. 99% of people don't know about Wrestler's Court. I'm not just talking about Wrestler's Court. The Undertaker through wrestling, and if anybody's watched the WrestleMania, the Undertaker documentary, or last year's Hall of Fame with The Undertaker, they know that most people respected him as a leader of the locker room for years. So it wasn't just about Wrestler's Court. But it is well documented out there too. So I think a little more than more than 1% of wrestling fans know about Wrestler's Court. But yeah, no, I'm not saying that just because there's backstage stuff that's necessarily the whole reason.
No.
I'm just giving you a plethora of different reasons that you can fit the Undertaker into the story. Was it perfectly
historical
100%?
reasons? Or historical reasons, like you said before, Undertaker was standing across the ring from his daddy, Dusty Rhodes.
Yes.
And the Hart Foundation. The debut, that was it. So yeah, there's that.
Was the Hart Foundation?
Yeah, they were part of that match.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It's the Hart Foundation and Coco Beware versus Ted DiBiase, the Undertaker, and I think the Head Shrinkers. I hate AEW. I'm not a tribalist over wrestling companies like you, Neckbeard. Okay.
Oh, who's Neckbeard? Me? Hey, look, man, my beard actually looks pretty good, man. I shaved it this morning.
I don't know where you're thinking we're being tribalistic. We're just making statements. I mean, we watch both shows and we talk about both shows.
Hey, follow us on Twitter. You'll see that we are not AEW tribalists. I'll tell you that right now, brother.
He's saying we're tribalists, but he's not telling us who we're tribal. He just says he hates AEW. Anyone who's tribalistic over wrestling companies is a joke.
Okay. That's your opinion, brother. We got you. It's all good. Thank you.
No, we're not here to be tribalistic. We just tell you our views. So I'm not a big fan of AEW because I think they could do better, and I think Tony Khan doesn't know how to accurately book a show. I think he fails at times, and he can buy all the talent, and he can put on great wrestling matches, but I don't think that's going to grow a company. So, I mean, we want to see wrestling be better for everything. If AEW was a great wrestling company on the level of WWE, then we would support it just the same as we would support WWE. We want wrestling to exist, and we want more companies to exist out here that make every other company get better. Competition's going to make better companies. And then all these wrestlers have great jobs, and we get to see more wrestling on TV. We get to see better stars, and we get to, see the competition grow. We're here about that.
There's a plethora of California wrestlers that need a job, and bettering your company and your product means more jobs for them. And the support of us that got him there as a fan get excited to see a local boy making his dream come true, or a local girl making her dream come true. Look at Bayley, local girl, dream come true.
I mean, not to the same degree, but I mean, there's a reason why Big Time will look at you and I and say, hey, we're fans of Powerhouse Hobbs because of what he was doing before AEW. And even some of the stuff, even in the early AEW work.
And we're going to call out the BS when we see it. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. Now, the Undertaker being there, it's not the perfect one to say that he didn't really fit into the storyline. No, he hadn't really played a role. But, I mean, you can fit the pieces in there to kind of make it sense. And otherwise, if you really want to break it down, it was for a pop. I mean, it was for a big pop. Undertaker being there, it was unexpected. That was the biggest thing. It was unexpected. And as much as we'd rather hear the glass crash and Austin came marching down, we didn't get it. So what do you do next? You get the Undertaker, and that fits in there.
Instead, we got Kevin Owens on a golf cart.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the other thing. Undertaker's one of the few people from that Attitude Era. If you couldn't get Austin, Undertaker would have been your next best. Who else are you going to get? Triple H can't get physical. Shawn Michaels wouldn't have been he's NXT right now, so he wouldn't have been a good one. Yeah. So I mean, if you want to talk about the era The Rock really comes from, that Attitude Era, then you're talking the Undertaker would be your next best piece in that puzzle.
Can I make a note real quick, because I was bumping it today when I was driving around town taking care of some much needed business. The Rock's new theme, actually really getting to listen to it on like fully. That thing hits. His music hits.
Mr. Clarke, you had something you wanted to add to all this. I know you're dying to get on. Go ahead.
Well, here's the thing. So at the press conference, or whatever you want to call it, last night, after WrestleMania Night 1, Roman was asked, are there going to be big surprises? And he just had this big cheesy smile, like, yes. Roman's not going to tell you, but yes. And Undertaker definitely fits that mold. No one saw him coming.
Did they ask Roman or The Rock that? Because I know, or did they ask them both? Because I know The Rock addressed that too.
That might have been The Rock. Right now, my memory's not The
I
greatest.
think it was The Rock that was like, yeah, because then he did say it, because then they had this stare off, like, okay, and he's like, I can't tell you, I'm not going to tell Cody.
That's right. You're right. It was The Rock. My bad.
Okay. So no,
I gotta say, like, it was very entertaining, more comedic, seeing the Usos go off the stage. Because you just seen two pairs of white shoes flailing about before they hit the table.
that was a pretty cool moment to get rid of them.
Yeah.
But it made sense. So
Yeah, it did.
but it was a solid
One
thing.
of those. This feud must continue.
There you go.
Well, it needs to after the match. The match did not live up to what it is.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Anyways,
man.
we do thank you for joining the
What a
conversation.
show,
I'm glad
bro.
you felt like joining the conversation and having a
Oh, we
conversation with
appreciate
us.
it.
That's a big key. We've had 136 people come by and view us. Here we go. Trip to the moon. Something I don't get is that people seem to think Reigns was close to beating Hogan's title reign, yet Reigns only held the WWE Championship, the belt Hogan held for 2 years. Okay. He still had a few more months to go before he broke Hogan's record, but they were doing the combined record with both belts, the Universal title and the WWE title. So yes, if you want to get into the technicalities, he really didn't hold the belt. That is the WWE Championship, which is the lineage that Hogan wore, but WWE has made the lineage with that belt. So that WWE Undisputed Universal Championship is the same belt altogether now. The lineage has been adapted into that belt in WWE lore. So the Undisputed Championship is that same belt that Hogan carried, even though he only picked that belt up later. They're still going to do that, and that's WWE. Some of that's Redacted's fault that he's going to push that narrative, and once that narrative was already kind of pushed, it was kind of hard to kill that narrative, and so yeah. And that, if they would have taken that narrative away, it wouldn't have felt as important. So now we're here. Hopefully tomorrow, or at least on Friday, we get the Winged Eagle belt that Cody's been talking about having. That'll be key. But I mean, yes, you're right. I will give you that there's a difference. But he was in WWE lore, the way they make it, he would have been close, but he was never going to beat Hogan's record. That was never part of it. He already beat Hogan's record for the most main event WrestleMania. So I mean, when they talked about all these things, you're just like, yeah, it's over. It's over. I mean, tonight when they had, when the symbolism of Cody coming in the ring, you knew he was winning. The Fallen King.
Okay, his entrance was more Bullet Club Cody, the way his entrance was from Wrestle Kingdom, and I popped hard for that one. That was a good one.
Yeah, and that's probably something most people wouldn't know. That's probably the small 1% that would know that connection directly just by looking at it.
I would.
But here's the crazy
New Japan guy.
The Young Bucks and Kenny Omega made it on WrestleMania. So, I mean, for a company who's going to get their patties in a bunch over some dumb stuff.
Yeah. I was hoping he'd come out. I mean, when I seen his gear, I was like, that's Wrestle Kingdom gear. I know that gear. I've seen that gear.
Well, again, what did I tell everybody yesterday? There are two main wrestling events every year. There are two big wrestling events every year that change the landscape of professional wrestling, that mold the year of professional wrestling. New Japan starts in January with Wrestle Kingdom. That sets the tone for the next year. WWE, WrestleMania 40 is the game changer. It's what sets the mold for the year coming in WWE. It's what we wait for all year. From here on out, we're going to build to the next WrestleMania. Wrestle Kingdom, they do the same thing. AEW is working on All In being that, but until they kind of get there and show consistency, it's really not going to live up to that same hype.
And that's all we want. We want consistency, folks. We're not bashing AEW just to bash on them. We want them to do better. They need to do better. They have pay-per-views that come up that get cluster booked the night before and then expect you to pay $50-$60 bucks for it.
They want you to believe our ranking system is valid, and they put out the new ranking system last night. New rankings.
I seen that today too. I seen that.
But then they want to book matches where Dustin Rhodes goes, I want a match. So he gets a match with Samoa Joe on Dynamite this week, but it's an eliminator match. He has to beat Joe to get a title match, but it's like he's not in the rankings. He's nowhere near the rankings. You have to give me the extended rankings to figure out where he falls in that. before you get there.
Mercedes
So it's like,
calling
that's
her
weird
shot.
booking. Then on Friday, Julia Hart's defending her belt against somebody named Linda who on Friday Night Rampage. So it's like, oh, we're going to give somebody a title match that's nobody, but we're going to cover it up so it's because it's on Friday. And it's like, it can make sense. Don't tell me the rankings matter and then book weird matches. How do you have a title, a eliminator match when you already have a number one contender? Why is anybody getting an eliminator match that could possibly steal that title when you already have a match booked for your next pay-per-view in a couple weeks with your number one contender? Like, how do you make that make sense when you want to go about the rankings? How does somebody who hasn't even wrestled one match in AEW get to proclaim that they're next in line for a TBS title shot after Dynasty? How do you have a man come in and wrestle with champion in his very first singles match and win a title? I kind of get it, but conflating the Universal title, which Roman held for 4 years, with the WWE Championship with its 6-year history and lineage, just seems unearned and diminishing of the I get what you're saying, but again, you have to go back to when that was done, and that was done under Redacted's control and power. So it's just kind of the lineage they're going to go with and the story they already had in place to tell when Triple H took the book and took the pen. So, yes. I mean, if you want to get into the defining, he didn't really hold that belt. The WWE belt should be around and be prestigious. But here's the kicker. Cody has talked about bringing back the Big Wing Eagle belt. So hopefully he will rebirth that image into it. And the fact of the matter is, it sounds like they're going to drop the Undisputed Universal Championship from this and go back to calling it the WWE Championship. So hopefully that's what they do. Hopefully they give us the Big Wing Eagle belt, and hopefully they restore that lineage and that history to that belt. And I think that would be the right way to do it, and do it with Cody. So I know it's a clusterfuck to get. You kind of have to go, okay, yeah, I don't like it, but this is what they did, and there's not a whole lot we can do about it. It's just what it is really in that scenario, because Redacted gave both belts to Roman Reigns and started telling him this long reign, which gave us a great storyline. So I mean, that part of it you can't be mad at it, because we got a beautiful storyline out of it, and we wouldn't have gotten this wonderful historical storyline that would have built up Roman to be who he is. Roman wouldn't be on God level. He wouldn't have been this great, and this match would not have lived up to what it was for Cody, getting that moment. I mean, this is Roman passing all that he's done over the last 4 years to Cody now. And here we are. Cody's going to be the guy. Cody just became the face of WWE for now. Period. I mean, that's what it is. So if you didn't book the lineage that way, if you didn't tell the story that way, wrong or right, we wouldn't be standing here, and it wouldn't feel that impactful. So one side, I can agree with what you're saying. The other side, I'm like, at least they kind of, in the end, made sense out of it. Like, they brought it together to make it work.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on any of that, gentlemen?
I don't think there's anything I can really add to any of that.
So I mean, it is what it is.
No, but like I said, it's fitting for a man that took the belt from someone who was just on a whim of signing a contract against the Fiend and Braun Strowman and run with it for as long as he has,
and then took the other one from Brock?
Lashley. Or was it Brock? I don't remember.
Yeah, it was Brock.
Okay. Oh no, it's hard to keep up with. And we did find out information last night. Brock Lesnar is still part of the WWE company. He's just at home being Brock for Triple H. Brock is still part of the company. He's just at home being Brock. And that's how he left it.
Good for him.
But I mean, tonight was great. I mean, night one was a little bit of a letdown, but tonight I don't know if they decided that. I don't know if Triple H go, okay, we didn't hit it last night where we should have, so tonight needs to hit double, and they did. But I mean, when you put Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre and everything they've done leading up to this match, you knew it was going to be a banger. And boy, howdy, they brought it and told a beautiful story. Iyo Sky and Bayley, banger, double time banger. I mean, it's going to be hard to look at this card as a whole when you look at Gunther versus Sammy, Iyo versus Bayley, Drew versus Seth, Roman versus Cody. Even AJ and LA Knight had a really good match. It's going to be really hard to say what was the match of WrestleMania. I mean, It's hard to say because I look at least 4 of those matches being the matches.
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling wise, Gunther, Sammy, Drew, Seth, Iyo, Bayley. Ooh, those are real hard. The whole factor,
Mhm.
then you got to throw in Roman and Cody when you talk more about the sports entertainment. Not that they didn't have a great wrestling match in there, but when you have the whole spectacle, that boosts that up there, way up there. Mr. Clarke, I see you want to chime in on this topic. What did you guys think was the best match of the pay-per-view of both nights? Drop it in the comment.
Drop a comment, please.
Yeah, go ahead, drop it.
WrestleMania 40, both nights. Love letter to professional wrestling. You can still call it sports entertainment, and that's great because there's definitely a lot of entertainment aspects to it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it was an indirect FU to Redacted. It was here to show you why we are in a new era. We saw it in the black and gold of NXT days, but it was on full display this weekend. So again, I say a love letter, a passionate love letter to professional wrestling.
Now, if you're in here and you're saying, I see we had 22 votes, which is awesome. We thank you for voting. If you voted boring, please drop your comments below. Tell me why you thought it was boring. I would like to understand what you thought was boring, what you didn't enjoy about it. Was it boring? Was it too predictable? We're always interested in what you're thinking. I'm just curious.
Can I throw something out there today? It made my daughter emotional. The Hall of Fame inductees, when they brought them out, U.S. Express rocking Bray Wyatt gear, as they should. The Fireflies left my daughter in a very emotional state. That kid loved Bray Wyatt like no other. It felt good. That was beautiful.
I'm going to tell you, I think -1 will never be, well, I won't say never, but I don't know if he's going to go to AEW, and this may break AEW fans or Tony Khan's heart. But after the Hall of Fame, after the U.S. Express Hall of Fame ceremony, Amanda Huber posted on X that her son looked at her and goes, when I become a professional wrestler, I want to be just like that. I want the Fireflies. Because I want to continue what Daddy and Uncle Bray did with the Fireflies.
Oh my God! Oh,
I saw that post just before we came on air tonight.
So yeah,
give me a minute.
She talked about
beautiful.
how it was. He wants to be like his daddy and his uncle,
wow.
And he wants the Fireflies. And you know what? If this is the first one you've watched in 20 years, if the last one you watched was WrestleMania 20, which had some highs and some lows, then yeah. Why does everyone kick out
we don't get that either.
Yeah,
it's a modern era thing. We don't know.
It's lost some flair, and there's some guys who do it worse. Tampon bucks. Tell me when I'm telling lies. You laugh at me, but am I lying?
Did you know that still the only protected finisher in pro wrestling is Baron Corbin's? Oh. The end of days. Still, no one's kicked out of it.
Not true, but very, very, very rare.
I haven't seen it, but man, it's protected as hell, and I love it.
Yeah.
I love that move. That move was great. Till this day, the way he hit it on Becky was beautiful. Like, just so much impact behind it.
But yeah, if you haven't watched wrestling in 20 years, I guess, or WrestleMania in 20 years, and I mean, I don't know if there's any. I mean, if you watch the Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey main event, regardless of how we feel about Ronda now, that was a great event. WrestleMania 30, you missed out on a great main event with the Daniel Bryan in there. Oh, you missed out on WrestleMania 25 if you're Undertaker HBK match. I mean, there's some good ones in there, some not so good.
WrestleMania 30 will break your heart. That's the streak ended. That'll break your heart.
When Brock Lesnar broke the Undertaker streak, that definitely was.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, since you brought up Ronda Rousey, I got to share it with you guys. My buddy out there in Florida, out there in Philly, met Ronda Rousey. Got a picture with her and everything. She looked as happy as can be, but I know we're not big fans of what's going on with her head.
She can do whatever. But yeah, I mean, I guess if we look back, we haven't had a wrestling moment that was like this since WrestleMania 30. The Undertaker losing the streak ending at WrestleMania 30, I don't think captured the attention, the emotion, or the feeling in the crowd. I think that's the last match that I can call that was kind of like tonight. Different emotional experience, but the last time at a WrestleMania that we really had a emotional experience that I can think of.
A collective experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, the Undertaker's theatric match with AJ Styles had its emotions because it was Undertaker's last match. Undertaker going down to Roman and leaving his gear in the ring had that little bit emotional, but I don't think it was as big as that. I know the Bray Wyatt versus John Cena Firefly Funhouse match has more emotional value after the fact than it did at that time. But I mean, really, tonight's the closest thing I can think of tonight would go back to WrestleMania 30, how the collective crowd felt when the streak ended, when that 1, 2, 3 hit, when Paul Heyman was standing there, and Paul Heyman was in another emotional match, and Paul Heyman can sell a million faces, but I remember that night specifically, not just because the Undertaker got pinned, but the fact that Paul Heyman sold it so well that you didn't even think Paul Heyman knew that was going to happen, because Paul Heyman was like, show and shock. You're like, did he not know how this match was going to go? But now we know he did. But
that man could sell an ice to an Eskimo. That man's good.
Well, hell, we know that. We talked about it during his Hall of Fame induction, how he got these guys to go out there for no money, who they even talked about going out there for no money and doing these crazy stunts. And that Paul would do them dirty and lie to them about stuff, and they still were hardcore loyal to that brand, to that company, to everything they created, and to Paul Heyman. That they're still hardcore. I mean, they're still hardcore loyalists to Paul Heyman to this day. I mean, we saw them all there at the Hall of Fame speech.
Oh yeah. And then, like WrestleMania, KO's gear tonight. Nice touch, beautiful touch.
But I really made up for last night. Last night wasn't the best. I was a little worried what we were coming in tonight after how we left off last night. It was just it was a good average WrestleMania, but I was worried. But tonight we started off so damn good with the Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins into Damian Priest cashing in such a beautiful way. We're seeing Punk got involved. He got physical, so he must be cleared to do a little bit of something. So hopefully we're going to see him more on TV. Hopefully that's opening the door to his return. We need Punk. I know I'm wearing my Punk shirt and my Punk jacket. You're a hardcore mark for CM Punk. I love CM Punk. I've loved CM Punk for a long time. Regardless, do I think he's a perfect? No, and he has his faults, but I respect the man. And do I want to see him win next year's Royal Rumble and be able to main event for the world title next year at WrestleMania? I think that's the next story to tell. Who is he going to be against? Is he going to be a babyface? Is he going to be a heel? I can't wait to see how this comes out. I can't wait to see how Drew McIntyre is going to react on Monday Night Raw to winning the title and instant losing the title when they sold that he was winning his big moment, and they celebrated that big moment, that he finally won the title in front of the crowds, that he almost seemed like he was turning back babyface in a moment. And then he went after Punk and gloated about it, and that got the downfall. And then he lost his title instantly. So what is Drew McIntyre going to say now? Well, whose fault is it now that he won the title and lost the title all on the same night? What is Seth Rollins going to do? Are we going to see Seth Rollins? Is Seth Rollins going to go away for a little while? Seth Rollins was emotionally upset at the end of that match. You could see it. Now, I'm sure he wasn't like, let's say this. I'm sure Kobe Lopez wasn't actually upset, but Seth Rollins was emotionally upset and selling that like $1 million. $1 million. I mean, his facial expression, the fact that he looked like he was almost in tears and ready to rage, was a brilliant moment there. And well, there is a lot to be ready for the Monday night tomorrow night. A lot to come out of it. Cody, we know Cody's going to be there, even though he'll be moving to SmackDown. Where we get a new world title, are we going to see the Big Wing Eagle belt? I hope it happens on Monday Night Raw. Let's start the new era off hot. Drew McIntyre, how is he going to be feeling? Seth Rollins, what is his thoughts and feelings coming out of this? Roman, are we going to see Roman? What is The Rock going to have to say about all this interference? Is this the end of The Rock? Now, The Rock does have something that he has to go film coming up, so I don't know what he's going to play. If he's going to go away and film and then come back around SummerSlam, what the story is going to be, if he's going to pop in between. But the story ain't done. Rock ain't gone. That's for sure. That's very apparent. You don't think The Rock's going to walk off after The Undertaker chokeslammed him. And afterwards, they have footage on X you can go look at that Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns were up off stage while Cody was celebrating. They were hugging it out in the corner. So there's a lot of exciting stuff coming forward. Monday Night Raw is going to be awesome. SmackDown should be awesome. Can't wait to see what's coming out of those. Mr. Clarke, go ahead.
Wednesday, they've said on YouTube there's going to be a documentary of how WrestleMania 40 came about.
Oh, on Wednesday?
Pulling back the curtain.
Wednesday?
Woo!
At what time on Wednesday?
I don't think they said that. We can look that
I wonder
up.
if that'll be around 8
somewhere online.
I wonder if that'll be around 8 o'clock Eastern time on Wednesday. Wednesday.
That would be great. But we'll have to
I know
check that out.
I know we will be talking about that night.
Well, we're going to be watching Wednesday. I mean, I think Wednesday is going to be a ratings boost for AEW for the first time in a long time, because they're going to show this video. And point blank, from what they've said, what even Meltzer and everybody said, it's going to be video footage of CM Punk and Perry's interaction. So I don't think we're going to get to see what Tony Khan or anybody else did. And I believe this is going to be...
I hate to ask, does Marty Richards know if they've been sending a camera crew out to the house and taking pictures of him at his church?
Well, that's a whole different story. Rock is a shareholder now, has a financial interest in keeping ratings up with appearances. Think he'll be around more. Oh, yeah. His story's not done. Now, he does have something to go film that he talked about on one of these, I think last night at the post-show media event. He had something he was going to go record, but he's going to be around. He's going to be a part of the company. He's invested. He's going to be there. He owns the name. The storyline's not over. And basically, we are leading to a Roman versus Rock WrestleMania match probably next year. That is going to come at some point. That's not done. That's still what they both want. Whether it's for a title or not, that's not necessary. Roman doesn't need the title right now.
This one's for that. This one's for dominance in the family. And that's all for it.
So we got to see what the fallout is. But yeah, The Rock is going to be around. We're going to see him on TV. Maybe not all the time. And it may go quiet for most of the summer. I don't know. He did say he had something to film, so we'll see. He may not be back around until next WrestleMania to pick up the story. So we're just going to have to wait and see how that goes forward. But yes, Wednesday they're going to get a ratings boost on Dynamite because they're going to show this video footage. I don't know how heavily doctored and edited it's going to be. That's the other thing. If you're putting it on TV, I feel it's going to be edited to make AEW look really good. It's not just going to be cut and dry footage. It's not like they're just going to roll the film and let it roll, and then the Young Bucks or the Tampon Bucks are going to talk about it. Which I'm like, why are they going to talk about it? Were they actually like right there in that situation? We never heard they were there. We just heard this was in the back. We know Joe, Punk, Perry, and Tony Khan were in the area. Maybe some other people that helped work things out back there.
They sound like Chris Jericho saying that they were there when they really weren't.
Well, Jericho was everywhere. Jericho is everywhere but nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Jericho knows everything that goes on that company because he's the almighty the Ocho, the sex god. You know, come on. Now he's over in the corner. Now he's over in the corner playing buddy with Hook because his little boy Sammy Guevara is gone, but Sammy Guevara is playing favors and
he's got a new young boy. It's all good.
He's going to have his own version of the Young Boys when Guevara comes back, and Guevara and Hook. He's going to have the Young Boys to control or handle or fondle or whatever Jericho does with his Young Boys.
Oh, come on now. Let's not go there.
Take him back to the Ocho compound for a little fun in the hot tub with a little bit of bubbly. It's all in fun and games. Don't take it seriously. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Value of Wrestling. This is right here. We're live on YouTube. We thank you for being here. We thank you for joining us. If you're in here, make sure you hit that thumbs up. The poll's doing pretty good. We have 22 votes, 77%. Or 87%, I should say, have said awesome. 14% for some reason said boring, but that does not add up correctly.
That's fine. I don't know.
87% and 14% do not add up correctly. This poll does not. It's 77, 5, 5, and 14. That doesn't add up right.
What poll?
77 plus 5 plus 5 would make 87. 14 plus 87 would make it 101%.
YouTube strikes again.
Yeah, no, that should
Wording though. the top 3 all say awesome.
Yes. What about it?
I'm just now noticing that. My bad.
Oh wow.
I did that all night.
I did that with intent. I was like, it was either awesome or you hated it. There was no real like it was good, it was okay. It was like it was either awesome or it was bad. I didn't see any other options, so that's why I put awesome, awesome, and boring.
Mr. Clarke, welcome to the party.
Hey, don't you dare use my own motto against me. My own tagline against me.
Hey, you know what? You don't have to like it, but learn to love it.
Now you're just doing your version of Flair's tagline.
Yeah, there you go.
That I reminded you of, by the way.
Exactly. Okay, don't be a booch. We have fun here. We take everything lighthearted. If you take us seriously, then it's on you. We're here to have fun. We love professional wrestling. I put my foot
in my mouth constantly, folks. I don't know how you don't. How do you not take that as a joke?
Hey, you're the only person I know. You're the only person I know right now that has a competition with his own wife to see who's going to get blocked by the tampon bucks first.
I swear she better not be blocked by me. I swear.
Well, I hope you don't block your wife. Oh, you just said you better not be blocked by me.
Never.
Well, you just said I hope she's not blocked by me. You said you should have said I hope she doesn't get blocked before me. Before me, folks. Let's get that correct. She better not get blocked before me because I've been trying. I am fully in support. I hope she is trying to get blocked. I hope she wins. My full support behind her.
If that happens, I'm getting off Twitter.
I just want to see his face when she comes in and goes, hey, baby, you know what? Young Bucks blocked me. What? Hold on. Damn it. And the only funny part was this one came about, if anybody wants to know. This is just fun. We're here. We're kicking back. We're talking wrestling. We talked about WrestleMania. You're still free to jump in the chat, talk about anything wrestling at this point. We usually do a weekly roundup on Sundays. But due to being WrestleMania weekend, we just kind of skipped over that. We gave you a special edition on Wednesday. But now we're just going to kind of talk wrestling. We're going to shoot this crap because there's people that are coming in and out here. So, if you come in here, talk, join the chat, tell us about wrestling. We're going to talk for a little bit longer just to have the fun, unless somebody's ready to tap out. But for right now, we're here. But the story about that is Mr. Clarke came up with tampon bucks, and I tweeted it out when they said Okada, and I said it's too bad they are going to be anchors and drag him down scenario, hashtag tampon bucks, and went about my business. And one day I was trying to tag him again with another thing that said tampon bucks or whatever. And they weren't coming up on my list, so I had to go look on their profile, and I got blocked. And I shared with these two guys, I got blocked by the tampon bucks. Badge of honor. I pissed them off enough with something stupid. Wasn't even trying to get blocked. So they both felt, well, okay, let's see what we do. Mr. Clarke went out there nonchalantly, like, yes, there was a little bit of a try to see if he could, but not like with not a wholehearted intention. It was just kind of like, if they do it, cool. If they don't do it, whatever. I mean, Mr. Clarke's more of, he's like, it'd be kind of funny, but I'm not really just going to say, and he really didn't say anything outlandish. He was kind of like me, just something irrelevant, and he got banned. Now, Mr. Z has blatantly, with effort, with enthusiasm, with all his energy, tried with all intent.
Yes.
To get the Young Bucks to block him by any means necessary. Whether it's going at Tony Khan or anybody else, he has to bring up the Young Bucks and say tampon bucks. I think he said it to everybody except our good friend, the Murderhawk Monster Lance Archer. But yeah, he's try hard to really get it to. Have you checked today?
No, they haven't blocked me yet.
When's the last time you checked? Let's go ahead. Check.
Before WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah, you're on your phone.
Well,
you can't check right now.
I'm on my phone right now. So
you're fine.
Can't check it.
But yeah. No, so that's the story. Honestly, I was never intending on trying to earn a badge of honor by getting blocked by the Bucks. I don't think my comment was necessarily that. It's like if they're heels and I call them tampon bucks and that's what offends them, then I mean they're. Again, I also do talk a lot of smack on them. Now let's take this back another thing. The tampon bucks. I look at them as the Hardy Boy wannabes because I still look at them as Generation Me from TNA and very early time that they did spend a little time in WWE. At that point, I forget if the Hardy Boys were split in WWE when they showed up or what it was, but I know they were there like a cup of tea. You know, not anything big. I think they couple job matches. It wasn't like they were full-time roster.
They were there
members.
for a smoke break.
And they were Generation Me at the time. Then they went to TNA where they had a little bit of more of a run, and then they eventually went over to New Japan and became the Young Bucks, where they became what a lot of people would say one of the greatest tag teams. Huh?
Ring of Honor. The Indies and Ring of Honor before they really got popular in New Japan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know all the details because they're not on my radar, but I think it was New Japan where they really made the statement that they were one of the best tag teams in professional wrestling to a lot of people. So, and Mr. Clarke and Mr. C are big New Japan Pro Wrestling supporters, and they really respected the Young Bucks. And when they started all in, it was like, okay, they were hyped. And when AEW came on, I started watching. I thought the Young Bucks were okay, but I've never been a fan of the Young Bucks. Never did it for me because I believe they're just flippy floppies. They're all about spot monkey moves, and it's always with them. You want to talk about people who kick out of finishing maneuvers. Yes. If you want to talk about people that kick out of everybody's finish maneuvers, that's all the Young Bucks do. Every time somebody gets in, it's a showcase match, which I get to an extent. You got to have a showcase match, but every time with these guys, they flip flop, do every double team move, every goof move. It's just like, it's too much for me. I can't take them seriously, and I don't know what makes them great, and that's my opinion. Now, these guys, the Young Bucks have slowly killed that wholeheartedly with AEW. Whatever has gone on with the Young Bucks from leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling to the initial start in AEW, both these boys supported them, and all of a sudden it was just like, and I think that's across the board because the Young Bucks seem to be the one point in the AEW Dynamite where people are tuning off the TV. The Young Bucks come on, those ratings go, woo.
But you know what's funny is that Brian Cage has a reputation for being Mr. Get My Shit In, but the Young Bucks really exemplify that. So how does Brian Cage have that reputation, but the Young Bucks show it weekly?
Yes. No, and that's where I kind of fell with, like, I'm just not in the Young Bucks. I just like, they're just show monkeys. They just have to do every little trick and fly and do all this flippity floppity fly this, fly over here, fly over there. It's just like you're tired by the end of the match, and it didn't really elevate anything. And again, I'll say this: Young Bucks, Tampon Bucks, who have you helped make an AEW?
Got a dog will say Private Party.
Who?
Private Party.
Okay, when did they make Private Party, and where's Private Party now?
Who knows?
How many times has Private Party had the AEW Tag Team Championships? For how long?
One time.
How long ago?
Wait, Private Party held the AEW tag titles? Even I don't remember that
one. Once. I think it was at the very beginning.
Hold on, I gotta look this up.
Yeah,
I really don't remember that.
I believe you, but I don't know. Never knew. I never.
It was the very beginning.
Stand by, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to find out if.
Just a heads up, my phone's at 26%. That's gonna dice it. Sorry,
okay,
nice
AEW
tag titles.
You what?
They have never held the AEW tag titles.
Oh, they have never. Okay, I thought they did. I could have swore they did.
FDR, Kenny Omega and Adam Page, Jurassic Express,
the
Acclaimed, Ricky Starks and Big Bill, Lucha Brothers, SoCal Uncensored, Swerve in Our Glory, The Guns, and Sting and Darby Allin.
Not in that order. Not in that order, though.
Not in that order, but those are all the tag team champions in AEW.
Yeah, I didn't think Private Party had. And
I thought they did.
Out of all those listed on that roster, who did the Young Bucks help make feel important? Nobody. Hell, they okay. So the Young Bucks in the very first tournament lost to the Private Party.
Okay, then that's where I was going. They tried to make them, I guess, but it didn't work.
Because it went CSU, then they lost to the Hangman and Page, then FTR won it, then FTR dropped into the Young Bucks. Lucha Brothers won them. Jurassic Express, and the Young Bucks took them twice, and they lost them to Swerve in My Glory, then Acclaimed won them. Then the Guns won it from the Clan. The FTR then won them twice. Then Ricky Starks, Big Bill, and Sting and Darby Allin. Now they've vacated. Okay. So both the FTR and the Young Bucks have held the tag team titles twice, and now they're going to face off for one another to see who's going to be the third reigning AEW tag team champion. And this company's not, 5 years old?
And I'm bored already.
And John Moxley's held the world title 3 times. Samoa Joe's been a 3-time TNT champion. Wardlow's been a 3-time TNT champion. Sammy Guevara's been a 2-time TNT champion.
Gita and Toni Storm, 3-time women's champion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Orange Cassidy is a multi-time international, mid-Atlantic, blah, 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 title holder for most record days. Yeah.
Can we call that the Tony Khan Invitational belt? Because that's the only belt he seems to have.
No, because I don't think that title's going to be relevant much more, because what they're doing with Roderick Strong seems like what?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, you're right.
He faced some guy named Laney something on Collision, I guess, for that title. Laney something. I'm like, okay, giving away title shots, rankings don't matter. Let's make it make sense, right? No? Okay. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're done. I think we hit 157 viewers that have come through here. We appreciate you for jumping in chat. We thank you for making those votes. We appreciate you for hitting that thumbs up button. If you're watching this later, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Always feel free to add your comments to the comments below in the comment section. Ring that bell for notification, because you never know when we're going to be live or what new content's going to come up. Tomorrow's going to be Monday. We start this next week off with Monday Night Raw post-show review. Me and Mr. Clarke will be here to go over everything that had the fallout of the Raw after Mania. It should be an exciting big show. We're going to be here to cover all of that for you. Tuesday, Mr. Miguel Z will be bringing you the New Japan Rebound podcast, breaking down everything going on in the world of New Japan Pro Wrestling. I think there was a new IWGP champion.
Not a new, but yes, there is a new junior heavyweight champion.
Okay, maybe that's what I read.
So yes.
So we have a new champion. Wednesdays we'll be here with your AEW Dynamite post-show review. We'll go over what the Young Bucks actually released. Does it do anything good for the company, or does it just make the company look even stupider? We'll bring that up. Tuesday, you'll get the weekend preview, which will cover everything from that Tuesday to the next Wednesday. We'll tell you about each and every show, what matches are going down.
Thursday to Wednesday.
Yeah, Thursday to Wednesday. The weekend preview goes from the Thursday that it airs to the next Wednesday. So that'll cover everything on TNA, SmackDown, anything that's going on in the weekend into your Monday Night Raw and your NXT and your AEW Dynamite in that order going through till your next Thursday. And then Fridays we'll be here with your SmackDown post-show review. Saturdays are pretty much open. We have another event. I kind of think, no, that's going to be a Sunday maybe. I forget. Dynasty is going to be on April 21st, so that'll be the next pay-per-view event we may cover. And we'll be back on Sunday, next Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with your weekly roundup podcast, where we talk about everything in the week upcoming the week before about professional wrestling.
You got it.
I know I'm trying to put out a lot of information, and I know it's a lot to hear and a lot to take in. You can digest it any way you want it. Gentlemen, is there anything else you want to say in closing before we call it a night? We get out of here. We say goodbye. We say la-di-da-di farewell. And, oh, yeah, one thing we got to rewind. Lil Wayne is not the greatest rapper of all times, and I don't know how you put Snoop Dogg on the show the very next night after making that.
You can read between the lines if you're calling him the greatest rapper of all time. Okay.
Oh, man. Hey, just because you're telling him he's number one, it's all good.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Value of Wrestling. This is your WrestleMania post-show review for Night 2 for April 7th, 2024. WrestleMania 40. One of the greatest WrestleManias of all time, at least on Night 2. They blew it out of the water. They made this. They set the standard, and they brought it to you. Whether you like it or not, you're going to learn to love it, and that's the bottom line. And we're going to get out of here. Gentlemen, tell them good night. Tell them fair dues. Say goodbye. Do whatever you do.
Good night.
We're out.
Good night, everyone.
As soon as I hit the right button.
It's your boy Miguel.
The button I wanted. That's the button I wanted. There we go.